Hey guys, welcome to Oita, Japan. I am Norm, and this is Shiori.
Hi.
I am kind of taking over for Emma today, hosting this video. Actually, just as Emma left, I arrived,
Yep.
and so yeah, we have been here how many days now?
This is day 5.
I think the first day was the busiest.
Yeah, that's true.
What did we do on the first day?
We went to Beppu.
Yep.
We did so many things. We woke up so early.
Yeah. So I think our day kicked off at something like 7 o'clock in the morning. And then what was the first thing we did that day?
That was the Sunayu.
Oh my goodness. Let's give a little bit of a description of what the Sunayu was. Do you want to explain it?
Oba-chan tachi is digging the hole in the sand, and then you will just lying down there and then relax for 15 minutes.
Yeah, they cover you with sand,
with
right?
the sand.
Yeah.
And then you only have the head out from the sand, so you look so suspicious. I'm not sure if this description is correct or not. But
Suspicious is a perfect Shiori description.
Okay.
It's absolutely perfect.
suspicious. But you have nice little
Umbrella. Yeah.
Because to prevent from the mabushi.
It was really bright actually.
Nah.
It was more pressure than I expected.
Yeah. It's quite heavy.
Yeah.
What did you think about the experience?
At first I thought it was the most relaxing thing ever. Because it's like a weighted blanket. So you're like, oh, this is really comfortable. But you can't move your arms or your legs. And then you start to itch. One piece of like sweat running down, and then you're like, oh, I can't itch it.
Nah, but you actually thumbs up.
Yeah, it thumbs up right through the sand.
Yes, but Sunayu is the one of the short time. You only can do 15 minutes in one time. So if you only have like short time, but you want to relax and you want to sweat and just refresh a bit, I think this is a really good way to experience the onsen culture in Japan.
And it's really famous here in Beppu too,
so
right? Like the day before, I was hanging out with another TC member, Dogen, and that was the first thing he suggested.
Oh, no?
Why don't we go to the sand bath?
Oh, really?
We didn't go, but yeah, so I'm glad I got to go. So what did we do after that?
So after that, we went to the very, very beautiful mountain.
Ah, yes.
I think we are not sure where is it because
it doesn't look like Japan at all.
It's one of the best view to enjoy, but maybe for you, the creator, it's very fun to be there to shoot, no?
It's fun to be there, and it was like high pressure because I was like, do we have 5 minutes? Do we have 20 minutes? How many pictures can I get? How much video can I get? I really liked it. That was nice. We moved on pretty quickly from there and went to Rakutenchi.
Yes, sorry.
The mountaintop theme park.
You've been lived in the Asakusa for a while, so you can compare between Hanayashiki and Rakutenchi, I guess, because Rakutenchi is 90 years old.
Yeah. And Hanayashiki is like the oldest theme park in Japan if you don't know what it is. But I think the fact that you get to take the cable car and the fact that Rakutenchi is not crowded, for me, Rakutenchi wins.
Oh no?
Because Hanayashiki is great. It's one of those places where from the outside it looks this big, and then when you go inside it's this big.
Yeah, that's
right? So I've always liked that, but it's crowded.
I hesitate to line up for the kids ride.
Yeah.
But in here, you actually can be like kids and enjoy the small, little, nice rides as well. I like the jet coaster the most. It was so fun.
This is actually the first place I've been to in Japan where people would get off the ride and line back up because there's right? That's how not crowded it was.
So I think I can try most of the things because I'm only 150 centimeters, so maybe I can try. he is joking around so many chibi jokes.
But the ice cream there was also really good. So I enjoyed that.
And then after Rakutenchi, we drive a bit, and then we went to the Jikokudani for
Beppu Hills.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
But you actually went there with Dogen, right?
Yeah.
The day before.
Dogen showed me around the area and he knew so much about it, so he took me to all the the little back streets where the steam is coming up from the street, and that's why like at night that river that I took you guys to, Dogen showed that to me.
I see.
So, and we actually had food steamed from hot spring steam. Yeah.
It was good.
What did you think of it?
I don't know why, but I feel like the all vegetable feels softer than usual, and it's so nice.
So you know how like the onsen sulfur steam kind of smells like eggs, right? So to me, like the egg tastes extra eggy. Does that make sense? The egg tastes extra eggy. The egg was very pungent. It had a really like.
And because the egg is different color,
Yeah. So it was really dark colored egg.
It was nice day one. That's pretty much we did.
Yeah.
And the next day, we went to Yuhu City. How was that?
I personally loved the drive into it so much, and the city itself. I was surprised because Beppu was so quiet, but Yuhu is so popular.
そうだね. I felt like 浅草とか京都とか
Yeah.
touristy place, but there are so much feeling because the town itself is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So just walking around and then checking the small souvenir shops are very fun. The museum, the Showa Museum.
I love those places.
ねえ、楽しかった。
Like it makes you feel like nostalgic, like natsukashi, even if you're not like. I wasn't in Japan during that period, but like anytime, like when I first came to Japan back in like I think 2005, every single time I would visit friends' grandparents or something, their house looked like that room that we sat in, right?
Yeah.
So. Welcome to a new segment we're doing here on TC Play, where I just sit with Shiori in unique places and talk about stuff and things.
Yeah.
The first thing that I ever became obsessed with in Japan was dagashi.
Yeah?
So like to see the little dagashi setups and stuff like that. So you get like this kind of feel, like these type of chairs. And some of the kisaten in Tokyo actually have little like game.
Yeah, invader game.
Yeah. These phones are usually black, desho.
Yeah.
Shikamo, they call them like black phone, desho.
Yeah.
We had them in all different colors. It didn't have to be black. Yeah, one of my friends was telling me that after the earthquake, when phones wouldn't connect, they connected their old black phone and it still worked.
Really?
Yeah.
So this is like an emergency phone then?
Yeah, okay.
So this is the Sento's entrance. So usually here, Oba-san or Oji-san is waiting, the reception lady or man are waiting for the customer. And the man coming from here, women come from here. And the cameraman position, there should be the wall. But this person can see the naked man and naked woman collecting the money to enter the center or onsen. It's so interesting, right? After that, we went to, we ate the soba. And then we drove back to this hotel. We took a bit of rest for the shooting star. No, shooting star. No.
We wanted to do some night photography.
Yeah.
That didn't play out the way we expected at all, though.
No, it was fun. We really wish we could film those extra fun happening things to explain what happened to us.
So basically, we got out there. We got out into the mountains, and we were like all excited, and then all the clouds came over.
Yeah.
And then the drive was much longer than we were initially expecting, and we've been driving something like 4 days when we realized that we still had a 20-30 minute drive to go. All gas stations anywhere in like a 40-kilometer radius were all closed, and we were on 1 bar of gas left.
But no, it's a very, very, very specialist for the car as well. And you think your fans know about that?
You know, the people who watch my channel know a bit about how I used to do a lot of car stuff in Japan. That's kind of how I started before I did YouTube and before I did shamisen.
If you are the fan of the No recently from the Tokyo Creative, maybe you don't know much about how crazy he is. Sugoi. He was so smooth like skiing. Because we are like panicking, oh no, only 1 bottle of the gas left, so how should we get to there? So all TC crews were like, oh, please, no, ganbatte. And he said, don't worry, I can do it. And after that, it's like skiing. This was so many cars going on. But me, T-Man, the Kenji, behind the car from them, they are like, 本当に no brake, light coming out. もうすごかった。
It was because we didn't use the gas either.
すごい。
We made it to the gas station though. Everything worked out. We made it there just as the gas went to zero. So
that was the drama,
all worked
another
out.
drama. I guess you guys took the fun dancing scene or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's totally behind the
We're
scenes.
like waiting for you guys and like dancing in the mountains in front of the car lights. I guess that brings us up to today.
今日はいっぱいやったね。We went to Saiki City. It was first time for me to visit there.
Same.
どうだった？
It was really nice, especially getting up the mountain
そうだね。
and the lunch.
So we ordered the Shiori Koji gozen and
And I got the kaisendon. I love a good kaisendon. Actually, everything. I could just right now just make a list of everything that was nice, but it was everything that we did.
Yeah. So we went to the Koji factory, which lasts for 330 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Koji means, sorry, I cannot explain in English nicely though.
It's like a microorganism. It's actually used a lot with a whole bunch of different stuff. Like it's used for things like sake, it's used for cooking, it's used for pickling vegetables and whatnot.
Koji can use for any of the seasonings. Every single meal has some kind of koji as seasoning or as salt like this. So this one have a lot of umami. And I learned so many things about Myoho-san, and it was so interesting. I love her so much.
Oh my god, she was like probably one of the outside of the food and the company. She was probably the best part of today.
Jam. And she explained many things about Japanese food culture as well. The food definitely makes family more bonding. Is that correct? Bonding.
That works. That works.
Bonding.
Yeah.
I love cooking. But personally, I don't use koji for my cooking. But luckily, we got a sample from her. So I'm thinking to start cooking with koji more often from now on.
Things like koji and mirin and stuff like that. It's a more traditional way of cooking.
Very original seasoning for Japanese washoku. So I need to learn how to maximize this koji power. I think we are going to Tokyo Creative News. You'll write more details later, so please check the link down below. After lunch, we climb up to the Saiki Castle Ato.
It's like the remains or ruins, or there wasn't actually any castle ruins, but it's where the castle was. And they told us it was a 15-minute climb.
But
it wasn't a 15-minute climb. But
nice to meet you. Wow!
やってみる？
But on the nice side, we got up there, it was really hot. The view was gorgeous.
ほんとすごかった。
And then it cooled us down with a nice brisk rain.
Yeah. 暑いけど、岩手。
It was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth it.
So this is the Saiki, Saikiかな?
You can see my house.
Oh. I know you are living there where you live. The hike was nice.
Yeah, the hike was nice. Yeah, I guess that brings us up to now. I always like to recap on the trip and ask if like you had a favorite moment, but it's a dangerous question for me right now because I don't have a favorite moment. I love literally the whole thing.
But I have one deal.
What's that?
This trip, Nom took a bunch of strange pictures of me.
Well, you were hanging out of a car, very like I've been kidnapped-ish, and it was, yeah. So that was a thing. My train is in like 10 minutes.
Oh no!
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to get going.
Thank you for coming there.
Well, thank you for having me. If you guys had a particular spot or something in this video that you liked the most, let us know down below.
Yes.
If you're new to the channel, I'd say subscribe, but maybe go check out a couple more TC Play videos. Leave us some comments so we can see where you have been. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for having me. And we will...
And don't forget subscribe to Tokyo Rent as well.
Thank you guys once more, and we will see you again real soon.
Bye!
Yeah, the Elmo's voice. You just did the whole fucking thing like Elmo. Yeah, we're gonna take you through the... Hey bitches! We're gonna take you through the flow.
Myoho-san is the 300 years old.
Oh man, I can see the blooper reel from this TC Play video. Just